Gaylord Briar's life was intertwined with crows from the start. It began with one in the yard when he was a boy. His older brother aimed a BB gun at it, intent on shooting. Gaylord, driven by pity, intervened and took a BB into his right hand, a mark of that day still embedded in his flesh. The pellet ached when the mist rolled in, a constant reminder of his youthful defiance. He awoke one summer afternoon to the soothing clicks of sprinklers and the warmth of sunlight pouring through his open window. In his dreams, he saw the eyes of crows. They became a part of him, an unspoken bond. Over time, he learned to call them to his windowsill, offering scraps to the trio that often visited. Then, as always, the three would leave. At the seafood restaurant where he worked, the crows waited for him, watching from the trash bins and rooftops. Once, he found one trapped under a garbage lid, the others calling frantically for help. Gaylord lifted the lid, freeing the bird, and they all scattered into the sky. Days later, he found gifts atop his car. 2 pennies, a car wash token, bits of jacket stuffing, a yellow wire, and a green pebble. The crows perched nearby, watching him intently, gauging his reaction. He accepted their offering, feeling the weight of their silent acknowledgement. Years passed, and the crows never left his life. He saw their intelligence in the park with his nephews as a single crow drove off 2 falcons. Another time, he witnessed one harassing a bald eagle, outmaneuvering it with relentless cunning. He observed their tactics at the restaurant, where they worked together to keep seagulls away, because the seagulls would spread trash, prompting the workers to keep the trash cans shut. The crows knew to keep things tidy. Gaylord found himself talking to them, sharing words they couldn't understand, but seemed to appreciate. He wanted to belong to their world, to learn their stories. Yet, it was a love he could not claim, an understanding just beyond reach. Their shadows followed him everywhere. He heard their distant calls, like a song on the wind, their language older and wiser than his own. They guided him to strange places, a bush of peculiar berries that made him sick, allowing him to hear the music of the world, the violins in the grass, the orchestra of crickets, and the morning song of a crow mother. Despite the connection, Gaylord lived the life demanded of him. He dug and earned, taking jobs that paid more but offered less beauty. The crows watched with what felt like laughter, mocking his masquerade. Relationships faltered. He left a woman after only a few nights, returning to the solace of his feathered companions. One evening, they led him to the court, where thousands of crows gathered in a parking lot under a shaft of white light. 4 crows stood in cross formation, and the court of birds sat silently in witness. 2 crows fought, a ritual unlike the savage battles he'd seen before. The duel had rules, an unspoken respect between the combatants. When one fell, the others dispersed. Only the wounded crow and its mother remained. Gaylord stepped forward, lifting the injured bird and taking it home. He named the crow Corey and cared for him diligently. Corey's wings, clipped during the trial, left him unable to fly well. They walked together, Gaylord carrying him on his shoulder. Over time, they developed a shared language, a hybrid of crow calls and human words. Corey spoke of places they explored, weaving stories Gaylord could only partially grasp. Their wanderings led them to trails untouched by man, places of ancient magic and hidden springs. One day, Corey warned him,
"Do not look, my lord."
But Gaylord looked. In the branches he saw her. Large brown eyes, dark lips, freckled cheeks lit by dappled sunlight. She moved like a whisper through the leaves, silent and ethereal. Corey urged him to leave, and this time Gaylord listened, sensing danger. Later he saw her again, disguised as a woman, walking with a man. Her laughter betrayed her true nature. At the edge of her glade, she revealed herself, feeding on the man's love, her taproot piercing his heart. Gaylord realized she was not a creature of malice, but one of necessity. Humanity had destroyed her forests, leaving her to survive on what little was left. Her existence was a reflection of his own, a being out of place in a world that no longer remembered its roots. Corey warned him again. "This is too far. We have seen." The woman confronted Gaylord, her sage smile both an honor and a threat. "Stay away," she warned him gently. "It is not fair that you seek me." Gaylord agreed and watched her vanish into the trees, the mist stinging his aching hand. "She will not forget," Corey said solemnly. "There must be a death." When they encountered a man armed with a knife and a camera near her glade, Gaylord knew what had to be done. He followed the man, using Corey to track him. When the moment came, Gaylord struck, knocking the man unconscious. Far from her home, Gaylord ended the man's life, severing his spine with the knife. Corey perched on the corpse.
"You are dead now,"
he said, pecking out the man's eye. Gaylord wiped his fingerprints from the knife and carried Corey away. Some paths are best left unexplored, Gaylord murmured, his heart heavy with the knowledge he had gained. Corey ruffled his feathers.
"She will remember,"
he said, and together they disappeared into the shade of the ancient trails.